Hello, everybody. You read the title. These are 5 things that I wish I knew sooner in life and mistakes that I had to make to understand these lessons. And now, I'm not saying that I regret anything that I did because I wouldn't be the same person I am today if it didn't happen. But this is something that if I had known in the past when I made these mistakes, that I think I would have accelerated my process in becoming a better person. So a lot of people throughout their life just go with the flow, don't really have any goals, have any plans, just let other influences control them. And at the end of the day, they have control over these things, like how they think and how they act. So I'm gonna be saying the 5 things that I learned that I wish I knew sooner. First thing is to stop thinking with your dick and stop giving your dick what it wants. Now, when I was back in high school, this is all I did. Literally, through freshman to senior year, whatever and whenever I was feeling horny, I would take care of it immediately. Whether it was with myself, busting a nut, and just not even thinking about it, not even giving a shit, just busting carelessly. Or if I was, actually going after a girl just to do that, like I had no intention of actually being with them, actually having any emotional connection, and I was just, fucking around with them. And what ended up happening was a lot of the time, and this is a very bad position to be in, you are chasing someone where they want an emotional connection and you are doing things just to get, sex and whatever you want out of it. So you're both want something different, but are willing to do the other thing to get what you want. And this becomes a very, very toxic space. It'll ruin you. Believe me, I've been there before. I've wasted so much time, energy, effort, and it just led me into a toxic place. So if I had only not gotten so like crazily sexually attracted, I would have just been cool with, moving on, moving forward, and really helping myself to not be so willing to listen to what my dick has to say. I would have thought with my mind and with my heart. So that's the first thing. Think with your mind, think with your heart, think with your gut. Because my gut was telling me, hey, I don't really want to be here. But my dick was like, I could still do this, I could get out of this. So why not put in the time and energy where you're not even really happy just for a few minutes of satisfaction. So it's really not worth. Second thing that I would go back and tell myself, if I could, would be to stop being so emotional. And being emotional and having emotions are 2 separate things. As a man and as a human being, we all feel emotion. There are times and there are things that happen in life that we cannot control, and there's emotions that we cannot control, and it makes us feel a type of way. And the first reaction is just to express it, to, burst out into anger, into tears. But it's very important that if you want to become a strong man, you keep your cool and you keep your calm. And this is a very difficult thing to do and learn. And society and social media has taught you and basically programmed you to just be emotional and just let go, But that's not what you want to do, because that will, number one, people will lose respect for you. They may not say, they may not show it, but they, deep down inside, they have lost respect when you become all emotional, because that means you have no control over yourself or the situation. And number two, it'll just make you feel worse about yourself. You'll go, like, later on in the day when you're alone, you'll be like, I wish I didn't do that. So this comes down to just meditation, really, and being alone with yourself. You need to be alone with yourself and be okay with being in these emotional situations. You're gonna have to go through it. You're gonna have to go through the breakup. You're gonna have to go through the friendship ending. You're gonna have to go through sacrifices and people leaving and people doing you dirty. Believe me, I've been there, I've done that. And I think if those things had not happened the way they had, I would have learned nothing. And it's okay to not have a guard up sometimes, because that's truly when we are happiest, when we're around people that don't have our guard up. But make sure it's the right people and the people who genuinely have their best interest in mind for you. Because there are people, and I'm telling you, most people do not give a shit about your best interest and are only around you to suit their needs. And you need to kind of understand based on their actions, who's really there for you and who's not. And it's not always a person that's, texting you all the time, commenting on your social media. That's all bullshit. That doesn't mean anything in reality. The people that are truly there for you, you'll know in your gut. That leads me to number 3. And that is to always trust your gut. Your intrinsic decision is always going to be the right one. Now, you're going to be faced with situations where you have a decision to make and you really don't know which one's the right one. You're thinking with your mind and you just still don't know. This person, believe this person or that person, go this place or that place. You really don't know, and you don't know the outcome. And you're afraid that the one you might choose might be the wrong one and put you in a worse place than if you chose the other decision. Now, when you're in these kinds of scenarios, you'll always get a gut feeling. You're gonna feel in your gut when something's wrong. You're gonna kind of start to see signs, like it will be there for you. There's no way that you're gonna make a decision that actually truly has importance in your life, and you're not gonna feel some type of way about it. And now you need to realize which is a good gut feeling and which is bad. The bad gut feeling is the ones that, like, after you get dumped, where you're just like, you feel like crying and you just doesn't make you feel good. Whereas a good one is like when you have butterflies and you feel like something good is about to happen in your life. And you need to always trust this feeling and completely ignore everything else. Completely ignore what your mind, what your soul, what your dick is saying, and trust this gut feeling, because it will never mislead you. Number 4 is to stop putting women on a pedestal. A lot of men, you probably included, have once looked at a woman and just been in awe, by the way she is, by the way she looks, by the way she smells. And that's okay. But you need to not drop everything about you and change yourself and put this woman on a pedestal like she's some kind of god. She is human too. She shits, she eats, she's a human. We need to stop as men giving all of our attention away for free. You need to have valuable attention. The reason that women like assholes and people that don't give a shit about them is because their attention isn't free. That's all they want at the end of the day. Attention. That's it, really. So if you're giving yours away for free and putting someone on a pedestal, especially if you're spending your money on them, your time, your energy, they will never see you as someone that they could have a partnership with. They're going to partner with the person who puts a value on their attention. So simply just pull back a little bit, take a step back, take a second, really look at the situation. What are you gaining from it? And start to realize that you are putting way more effort and your time and your energy and your focus, which is so valuable, to this person that doesn't even give a shit about you. So once you pull back, a lot of the times what will happen is that now it becomes a chase, and she will start to chase you because your energy is no longer there for her. And if she doesn't, that's completely fine. Then there you go. That's your answer. You would have seen what had happened. And most of the time, you're just doing it for a hookup, which at the end of the day, it's really not worth it. So that's a big one. Stop putting them on pedestals. Now, the 5th thing will be to find a skill that is also a hobby. Now, for me, my whole life, I've been playing soccer. And when I was around 12, 13, up until the age of like 15, 16, I hated it. I dreaded it, truly, because I was pushed so hard by my father, and he just always put me down. And this led me to overthink while I was playing. I cared what other people thought. I cared how I looked. I cared if I made a mistake. And I'm so glad that I kept playing, because now I'm doing something that I truly love and that I'm good at. So whatever skill that you have that you might think is cringe or that people are making fun of you for, believe me, that skill is worth so much. And those people are just jealous. Whether it's writing, even if it's reading, and you're good at that, playing an instrument, violin, piano, those instruments are beautiful, truly beautiful. And if you have that skill, that's incredible. If you're good with computers, if you're good at math, good at chess, keep at it, because you will later in your life look back and thank your younger self. This is one thing I'm so glad my younger self never quit. I'm so glad. So having a skill that you love to do will also just make you a person with a purpose, a person with a passion, and people like people that are, doing something with their life. If you're just sitting at home watching TV, watching Netflix, why would someone else give a shit about you? You have nothing that's valuable. So when you have this kind of skill that you devoted yourself to, you devoted your time, and it makes you happy, continue at it. Enough said. And those are my 5 things that I would wish that I'd learned earlier and wish I'd known. There's a few more, but I think these are the 5 main ones. So hopefully you learned something today. And with that, have a wonderful day.